Welcome to this DDi CADcast What's New series. I'm Michael Nolte. Today we're covering SolidWorks Electrical Schematics Part 2. So here's the list for SolidWorks Electrical Schematics Part 2. This kind of gives you an idea of some of the items that I'll be covering in this second part. And again, some of these are actually really good items, so I think you guys will really enjoy the improvements that they've made with 2015. Alright, so this first item is the customized rights management, and this is again new for 2015. It's kind of weird having to log into SolidWorks Electrical, and also if you load SolidWorks Electrical 3D, you get that same login when the rights manager is turned on. So I'm going to jump over to the Tools menu here, go into Interface Configuration, get this on screen here, and we'll jump over to the rights management. So when you first set up the rights management, you have to create an admin account, essentially a place to start with. So that's who I'm currently logged in as. Password requirements, looks like it has a minimum of 6 characters for the password, so you do have to put a 6-character password in it. It keeps track of general information, name, initials, that type of stuff as well. But let's go and jump into the manage your user rights. So this is the rights manager itself, kind of broken down into different categories. So you got administrator, you got library manager, project manager, project editor. I've been kind of testing around and creating a few accounts in here. So currently it's basically if I needed to create a project manager, I need to select that group, create the new group. Let's see, manager, and then I'll go and select the category and create myself a new user. So let's call this one Bob, get his password in, and then go and hit OK. I could fill in the full name there, and I've got Bob. So as far as each of these different profiles, if you go to the feature grid here, this will actually open up a grid of what each user is able to do and not able to do. Currently this can't be changed, it's just a visual interface. I think there is potential down the road that SolidWorks will allow you to change this. But you can see there is actually quite a bit of difference between each of the different levels here. So obviously the one on the lowest is just the project contributor, but then we get into a library manager, project manager, and this project editor. Definitely recommend making at least 2 administrators just so you can make sure that you can get into. If you do accidentally lock yourself out, so let me close out here, cancel out of this guy. Let's see if we hit the let's see, edit your account, and bear with me here. I forgot where it tells us here. Oh, that's right. Hit the F1 button there. So F1 is like Windows Universal thing, so it actually gives you an idea. It says back up the password. There is actually a way to retrieve or get into an account. There's no way of retrieving a password, but there is a way to get into the account. But contact Digital Dimensions tech support, and we'll be able to give you a way to get in there if you do lose all administrator accounts. But there is definitely an advantage of being able to turn on and lock the permissions for users now. Alright, so the next 2 items is the new interface to display properties and mark tab in project configuration. So this one actually shows up, this first one shows up on a couple of items. It shows up in the symbols library properties, the 2D footprints, the title blocks properties, macros, cables, and manufacturer parts. So I'm just going to bring up the symbols manager here, and I'm just going to right click over one of the symbols, go to properties. So this is the new interface for the symbols property, and the other ones are real similar, just with different information pertaining to that item. For it to seem different is I'm going to bring up the 2014 version just so you can kind of do a comparison between the two. So they've added more icons on the left, they've added more drop downs on the right, so overall the user interface has gotten a lot easier to work with. Alright, so let's go and take a look at the second item here. And I'm going to go over to the Projects tab, Configuration, down to the Project. And go to the Mark tab. So this page has also changed quite a bit as well too. Again, user interface and that type of stuff. Let me bring up the other one here again. So this is the old version of it, so you can kind of see the changes there. One of the big things that I noticed though is if you're adhering to the IEC, it forces the standard or the marks for all the components to adhere to that standard. If you do customize, and you can go and modify it. So for example, if I wanted all my locations to have a different function, hit on the function button. This interface has also changed a little bit. They give us the tabs across the top there, the variables to pull from, predefined one, so I could just pick one and say replace it, or keep in mind I can still do the manual addition there. So now all of them would end up with a text of hello at the end of the locations there. So minor changes, but definitely for usability's sake, they've definitely made it easier to work with. Alright, so this next item is the CAD file downloader, and I think this is definitely a big improvement for getting the 2D layout symbols, and also well, down the road the 3D CAD models. So I'm on the Libraries tab. I go to the Manufacturer's Parts Manager, and let's see, I'm going to hit the search here, and you can see that I already have a fair amount of Legrand parts in my library. I do want to take a moment to step back here. I'm going to go into the online content just so you can see that. Online content basically is just a link out to this website. You want to go into the electrical portal, log in. If you don't have one, register. It's a free registration. We jump over to the catalog here, and the catalog has actually gotten quite good. So we can go to a particular manufacturer, and we can find that particular series and click on the download link, and you can see that it's going to download a TEW zip file, specifically a part.tew zip file. So that file, what I'd end up doing is coming back over to the manager, do an unarchive, and go browse for that particular symbol. So that's been there with the prior versions. They've made it a little bit easier to get to, a little bit quicker. The item that we're looking at is the ability of downloading the 2D footprint. I'm going to first go into the properties of this particular one, so the 604 here. So go into the properties. So there's several things that you can automatically assign. You can say, anytime I use this manufacturer, do a single line symbol, a multi-line schematic symbol, 3D part, or 2D footprint. 2D footprints, if you're going to do a layout of a panel just in 2D. I'll show that here in a moment. And also a default connection label. So currently those aren't set. So I'm going to cancel out of here. I'll go and do a right click, and I'll say download 2D footprint. And what it's going to do is it's going to open up this CAD file downloader, and it's going to go and download that particular model. So it's going to pull those down. I haven't tried multiple at the same time, but I think it'll allow you to do that. So I'll close out here. So now if I right click over this 604 and go to properties once again, you'll see that there's a 2D footprint. In fact, if I browse to that, you'll see that it actually will take me out to the cabinet layout library, and that's the particular symbol that I've been able to use. So I'm going to use that here. So I'm going to close out, hit OK there, close out of the library, and I'll go and create myself a new 2D cabinet layout page here. So I'm going to do cabinet layout, and I'll pick out the location. So I'm just going to go with the main location to start with. Hit OK there. So it adds the new document. So from here, then I can go through and I can add that particular new symbol in. So I'm going to say insert 2D footprint. Oh, wait, I want to add a component here first. One sec. Component. Don't really care what the manufacturer or what category it is. Yeah, I might change that to be a connector. Go to my manufacturer, go search. And let's see. Yeah, we'll go with all manufacturers here. There's that 604. Add one in. Okay, okay. So now that became my new P2, but it already has a symbol associated to it. So I'll just do a right click, insert, and I'll go and drop that in, and now I already have a symbol for it. Upon the insert, so I'm going to uncheck that and insert again. Let's see, let's delete and insert one more time. So when I go to insert, I can change the orientation, or I could pick a different symbol out as well. So, and I could use this to lay out a rough kind of what the panel would look like. So within that same right click of the manufacturer, there is an option for download 3D SolidWorks models. At the time of this recording, there is a little bit of a disconnect. It does download a model, but I have found that sometimes it only grabs the assembly but not the parts in that assembly. So I do know that they're working on that aspect of it, but that'll be another item that'll be in here. Okay. Alright, so this next one's a fairly quick one, kind of pertains to the reports. So if I go into the Reports Manager on the Projects tab here, there's now the ability of exporting in XML format. So the Excel and text files, those were there in the previous version, but some companies, they have like a ERP or MRP system that they need to export and import data into those ERP systems, and they prefer the XML as far as the formatting goes. Process is pretty straightforward. You just pick out whatever report you're wanting to, pick out the directory you're going to go into. So I'll go out to my desktop, go to a directory that I've set up, and then I go and just hit OK there. And it'll open up the directory for us with that file, the updated version of the file in the directory. Open it up. Most machines default to IE, but whatever you have for opening XML files. And this is just basically an XML dump of the information. So more for connecting systems is what you'd want to use that one for. Here's a quick recap of what we covered in part 2 of the What's New 2015 SolidWorks Electrical Schematics. And definitely subscribe to our YouTube channel, so youtube.com/DDi CAD, and also definitely check out our tech blog at ddicad.com/tech center. Thanks and have a great day.